Please have a seat. Firstly, on behalf of my colleagues, I extend a warm welcome to all in attendance today. The first ceremony was held, actually, the first passing of the gavel ceremony was held on January 6th of 1993, when the gavel passed from Chief Justice Ralph Erikstead to Chief Justice Gerald Vandewall. The passing of the gavel and the gavel itself is used by the presiding officer or judge to bring a meeting to order. And with that, we'll jump right into it. So Justice Crothers, or excuse me, just my understanding is that David Fair, you have...
No, Justice Crothers is going first.
Okay, Justice Crothers.
I'm up.
Sorry for the mix-up.
Colleagues, members of the court family, Justice McGovers family, friends, Governor, Attorney General, Judge Traynor, Justice Vandewall, others that I'm seeing for the first time as I walked in here, welcome. Thank you for joining us today, and for those folks watching online, thank you as well for joining us for this event. Today we witness a moment that's both solemn and historic. The event celebrates the transition of leadership, and we gather to recognize Justice Jensen's service and to welcome the promise of new leadership by way of our new Chief Justice, Justice McGovers. The passing of the gavel represents more than just a change of leadership, however. It symbolizes continuity within this court and this court's commitment to justice, impartiality, and the rule of law. The position of Chief Justice was described to me when I got here by Justice Vandewall as the leader of equals. And you can imagine the logistical problems that might come with leadership by equals, but we'll skip over that for today. I'd rather focus on the authority that's vested in the Chief Justice. And as a leader of equals, that means the Chief Justice doesn't hold that authority by themselves. They are not in a position above the others, but with the others, leading the others as equals. And so I like to look at that as a position of trust imposed on the Chief Justice by the court and the limitations that it receives because of that. And the Chief Justice's exercise of that authority is guided by precedent and, at least through my lifetime, has been exercised with restraint and with integrity. That restraint and integrity, of course, was exercised by Justice Jensen when he was chief, and so I'll first speak to Justice Jensen. Chief, I'm confident I speak on behalf of the entire judicial branch in thanking you and giving you our deepest gratitude for your leadership, for your innovation, and for your service to the judiciary. Under your leadership, we have upheld our constitutional role with fairness, collegiality, and respect for the law, and we thank you for that leadership. Next, of course, is Justice McGovers. Today, we mark a milestone in the history of this court by recognizing the appointment of our first woman to serve as Chief Justice. This moment reflects not only individual accomplishments, but the progress of our institution and our affirmation that leadership in this court is defined by merit, by judgment, and by dedication to justice, but not by gender. In fact, if gender is our only headline about today's transition, we are doing Chief Justice Lisa Fair McGovers a monumental disservice. Justice McGovers comes to her new position as Chief Justice with an impressive background that included, before law school, working in court administration in one of our judicial districts. She then attended law school, did very well, of course, and became a law clerk for then Justice Newman, my predecessor. Justice Newman, glad to have you here today. She then went to work as a private practice lawyer. She subsequently became an assistant state's attorney in Cass County. She was then appointed the North Dakota Commissioner of Labor. From that position, she became a district court judge, and for the last 11 years has served as one of my colleagues on this court. During her professional life, Justice McGovers has also served on countless boards, commissions, and committees. Each of those positions has taught her something about the operations of state government in general and the operations of the judicial branch in particular. In other words, Justice Lisa Fair McGovers comes to the Chief Justice position with credentials that are second to none. Justice McGovers, as Chief, you assume new duties and responsibilities of trust. Included in that package are to preside with fairness, to foster respectful deliberations amongst your colleagues, and overall to safeguard the adjudicative independence of this court. We are confident that you'll lead with clarity, humility, and unwavering commitment to the law. I close like I started. I thank you all for joining us. I thank Chief Justice Jensen for your service. Thank you, Chief Justice Fair McGovers, for stepping forward and taking on this responsibility. Congratulations.
Thank you, Justice Crothers. Our next speaker is Donald Fair. Mr. Fair is an attorney and Justice McGovers' brother.
Distinguished guests, Supreme Court justices, family members, and friends. I don't know what I'm going to say because Justice Crothers just stole my speech, but it's okay, I guess.
Sent you an earlier draft.
First of all, I would like to thank Justice Jensen for his service and Crothers for his distinguished career. And I want to thank Jerry Vanderwall for being a mentor to Lisa and to the rest of us here. Can we give these guys a round of applause? As a young girl in Minto, Lisa did what fair kids did. She played sports, she swam in the river, she rode her bike, and she mowed lawns to make money. She never did pay me for my lawnmower, but that's okay.
That's true.
Lisa wanted to play baseball, but Minto didn't have a little league team for girls, so she played on the boys' team. I can still remember my brother Doug used to call her Killer after Harmon Killebrew. And I can remember her standing there with her hair hanging out of her cap, waiting to crush that ball, and she did. In high school, she was an all-conference girls basketball player. Like the other fair women, she excelled in the classroom. She later went to the University of North Dakota Law, where she graduated with honors, clerked for the Supreme Court, and as Justice Crothers said, became a lawyer at the tax law office in Fargo and a Cass County state's attorney. She argued before the Supreme Court, and later she became the state labor commissioner. Judge Hoven appointed her to the bench in Fargo, and a few years later, Judge Dalrymple put her on the Supreme Court. And this sounds like maybe a fairy tale story to some people, but I can guarantee you that it wasn't. I think Lisa would be the first to tell you the sacrifices that her husband Jim made so that she could take advantage of opportunities that became available. He worked numerous jobs that probably wouldn't have been his first choice, just so Lisa could take advantage of every opportunity that came along. I would like to give Jim McGovers a round of applause if we could. People might not realize how many times these people had to move, numerous moves back and forth between Fargo and Bismarck and Fargo and Bismarck. And even today, she continues to drive the highway over and over and over, okay? So I think that this fairy tale wasn't a fairy tale, but I am very proud of my sister, as are all my brothers and sisters, and I'm sure my parents and our grandparents would be proud of her too. She is the first Chief Justice of the state of North Dakota, or female first Justice of the state of North Dakota, and I would like to give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Fair. We welcome Aaron Burst, Executive Director of the Association of Counties, to make remarks.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. First off, thank you to you for your service, Justice Crothers. And Justice Tufte, thank you for submitting your application, a qualified individual, certainly. I'll get to both of you, so I'm not forgetting you. I was actually going to wing this, but then my last performance in this room wasn't so good. So I felt I better put some work into this. And this is probably the only time I actually get to turn my back on the Supreme Court, so this is kind of fun. So, members of the Supreme Court, distinguished guests, and most importantly, Jim, wherever you are, Bill, and all of Lisa's family, thank you for letting me be just a little part of this historic day. I first met Lisa some 25 years ago at the National District Attorneys Association meeting held here in Bismarck. My fellow Stutzman County prosecutor, Leo Ryan, leaned over to me and told me to get to know Lisa because she's as good as they get. That class of '97 is pretty good, by the way. How prophetic those words were at the time. So it's really no surprise that we're all here today. It is also crazy that just a couple of years later after that, Lisa and I would be working together in Cass County with an excellent boss named Birch Burdick. I struggled writing this speech because at first I thought I would tell a few embarrassing war stories from our Cass County days. However, Lisa doesn't have any. That's really unfortunate for this speech. For a quarter of a century that I have known her, she has been the consummate professional. I remember a multi-day trial where we were in, and she came in the next morning, and she said, "Judge, counsel, I need to tell you something." Oh boy, I wish she would have ran this past me, but that's okay. And she says, I was at a basketball game last night, and I saw a juror. And of course, the judge says, "Well, what happened?" And she answered, "Nothing. But I just thought I should let you know that I saw a juror." That's Lisa in a nutshell. Fair is not just in her name, it's in her character. The judicial branch is so unique to our form of government. There's no special time frames in which to meet every other year or large state agencies that you have to oversee and direct. We simply rely on the judiciary to settle all of our disputes day in and day out. The reason our judiciary works is because the individuals who serve in those roles serve with integrity and professionalism. The judiciary is bigger than one case. It's the belief that parties, although they might not always win, will be heard and treated fairly. Lisa's career encapsulates that principle. Great organizations, agencies, branches of government, and associations need great leaders. Yeah, you see what I did there? Yeah. Need great leaders, and our Supreme Court has been blessed with such leadership over the years. Thank you to Chief Justice Vanderwall, Chief Justice Jensen, and I know Lisa will carry on your legacy of leadership today and long into the future. Chief Justice Lisa Fair McGovers, thank you for inspiring countless individuals, including myself, in and out of the judiciary and many yet to come. Congratulations. Let the bagpipes play. You earned this day.
Thank you, Mr. Burst. Next, we welcome Deborah Hoffert, President of the State Bar Association of North Dakota, to make remarks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chief Justice, Justice McGovers, Justices of the Supreme Court, Mr. Governor, Mr. Attorney General, and all the very distinguished guests we have here today, including Justice McGovers' family. So the Chief Justice symbolizes the court's highest commitment to our Constitution and the trust that the people of North Dakota place in this Supreme Court to enforce our rule of law. To outgoing Chief Justice Stinson, thank you so much for years of distinguished service and your thoughtful jurisprudence. Just like Mr. Burst, appellate argument's not my best skill. So, Chief Justice McGovers, today you make history. On behalf of the almost 3,000 members of the State Bar Association of North Dakota, congratulations on your election to Chief Justice, and on becoming the first woman to hold this role. That's really incredible for us. SBAN values the relationship we share not only with the Supreme Court, but with our 55 district court judges. These meaningful professional interactions between the bar and the judiciary really does strengthen our legal community here in North Dakota. Chief Justice McGovers, you bring to this role not only legal excellence, but also good perspective and experience that the court needs to serve all of North Dakota. So we look forward to working and following your leadership of North Dakota's highest court in the next chapter. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffert. Next, we welcome Honorable Susan Bailey, Judge of the East Central Judicial District, to make remarks.
May it please the court. Chief Justice McGovers, Justices of the Court, Justice Vanderwall, distinguished guests, including Governor Armstrong, Attorney General Wrigley, and the Honorable United States District Court Judge Dan Traynor, members of the bar, family, the Fair McGovers families, friends, and colleagues. It is a profound honor to stand before you today to celebrate the passing of the gavel to my friend and colleague, Chief Justice Lisa Fair McGovers, as Chief Justice of the North Dakota Supreme Court. I do want to start by thanking former Chief Justice John Jensen for his years of service leading and acting in the public's best interest. Lisa and I, and I'm a little nervous. Lisa and I first met in law school in 1994. We were students arriving with a bit more life experience and very eager to make the most of the opportunity. Law school is demanding under any circumstances, but for us, it was also woven around families and responsibilities beyond the classroom. When I met Lisa, Bill was 8 years old. My 3 children were 2, 5, and 7. That shared reality created an immediate bond between Lisa and I. We were not just learning the law. We were coordinating childcare, school schedules, and the constant challenge of being fully committed to our studies and our families. Lisa handled it all with calm confidence that has become her hallmark. Lisa also had a commute. She traveled to campus from Crookston with Bob Stewart, and as a result, Bob had excellent attendance. I often relied on my classmate and brother, Leo Ryan, for a ride to campus, which is why he had good attendance. He got 2 named mentions today. I can't believe it. Okay. This detail may seem small, but it reflects doing what it takes to show up. determination, commitment, and trust in herself, qualities that have defined Lisa's career ever since. Even then, it was clear that Lisa brought a seriousness of purpose to the law. She listened carefully, thought deeply, and spoke thoughtfully. She was not interested in shortcuts or easy answers. She was interested in getting it right. Those traits have only deepened over time, and today they define the kind of Chief Justice this court and this state are fortunate to have. Over more than 3 decades of friendship, I have seen Lisa in many roles: student, advocate, coworker, judge, and justice. In every role, the same core values shine through: fairness, humility, and an unwavering respect for the rule of law. Lisa has demonstrated integrity, independence, and careful judgment. We are lucky she has taken on this new challenging role in leadership of the judicial branch of the state of North Dakota. But judicial leadership is not about visibility. It is about stewardship, protecting the independence of the courts while ensuring they remain accessible, fair, and worthy of public trust. These are responsibilities Lisa has embraced throughout her career, and I have no doubt she will continue to uphold them with distinction as Chief Justice. I would be remiss if I did not speak about Jim. Lisa's husband and partner in every sense of the word. Judicial careers do not exist in isolation, and Lisa's public service has been made possible by Jim's unwavering support and very real personal sacrifices. Jim has supported campaigns, stood beside Lisa during her service on a governor's cabinet, and navigated the extraordinary logistics of maintaining 2 homes 200 miles apart, all while pursuing his own career and doing so with generosity, patience, and good humor. His commitment reflects a deep belief not only in Lisa, but in the value of her public service. To Lisa's family, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifices, the flexibility and steady support that make a life devoted to justice possible. To Lisa, my friend, I am incredibly proud of what you have achieved. The title you assume today may be new, but the qualities that justify it have been present all along. The people of North Dakota are well served by your leadership, and this court will be stronger because of your voice. Congratulations, Chief Justice McGovers. It has been an honor to walk part of this journey with you, and it is a privilege to witness this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Bailey. Chief Justice McGovers, it is with great honor that I today present you as Chief Justice of the North Dakota Supreme Court a symbolic gavel. In the words of Chief Justice Ralph Erikstead, the individual who holds possession of this gavel is charged with administering the North Dakota judicial system and preserving the prestige of the highest court in the state. These are responsibilities that are held in high regard among your colleagues and the entire judicial system. Congratulations to you today on this joyous occasion.
sorry, but I need to be a little more imposing than the former chief. I can't carry it without the chair being raised up. So, thank you, Chief. It's a great honor to be here with you all today. Justices, judges, Judge Traynor, Mr. Attorney General Wrigley, Governor Armstrong, I so appreciate you being here. It means a great deal for me that you're here. My colleagues, family members, mentors, and friends, thank you. Thank you so much for coming this afternoon. I am so pleased that you're here. As mentioned by Acting Chief Jensen and Justice Crothers, the passing of the gavel is a symbolic event, as my duties actually began on January 1st, and just so you know, I was in the office working. This ceremony is not just about me becoming the chief, but it's a time to recognize the efforts made by former Chief Justice Jensen. And I also want to thank him for his service as Chief Justice since 2019. Under his leadership, the courts have made great strides in improving access to the courts and decreasing the times that parties have to wait for the decisions that judges make. The improvements that he's made have happened for many reasons, but he has made it his mission to secure resources, better resources for our district judges so that they can better do their job. He's done this both by advocating for more resources in staff and also through the use of technology. He has led us through some difficult times, taking us through the pandemic in 2020. That was a difficult time. I'm so thankful that he will remain on the court so that when I have questions, I have somebody to go and ask. I can just walk down the hall to my old office because he's now in my old office. It's got a back door that's killer good. So you can sneak out. I can't sneak out quite as easily in this new office. So it's a bigger office, but it doesn't have the same early release time as my old office. Anyway, thank you for handling the court so capably for these last 6 years. Justice Crothers, I also want to thank you for your kind remarks. I am so lucky to work with you and with the wonderful colleagues that I can turn to for advice and help. Each one of you brings a unique perspective to our work and our mission. I would also like to thank my brother, Don Fair. He came all the way from California here to speak on my behalf and on behalf of my family. Thank you, Don. Aaron, there are some stories. You're just being kind. Thank you for coming in. I could tell a few about you as well, but I won't do it. Deb Hoffer, thank you for coming and being here and speaking on behalf of the State Bar. I look forward to working with you in the future as we collaborate together. And Judge Bailey, my friend, thank you. I appreciate your kind words and your support all these years. Susan and I, Judge Bailey and I, both aspired to be judges early on, and it took us a few whacks at the ball. In a baseball analogy, we had to take a few swings, but we eventually hit it out of the park. So thank you, Susan, for being here, and especially for recognizing the support that I've received from my husband, Jim. You know better than ever, because you've seen him doing it, the hard work that he's put into my career. I would also take this opportunity to thank some other really important people. I want to thank the judges and justices who believed in me. They selected me as chief. I will do my best to prove that your faith in me was justified. In addition, I want to thank my judicial assistant, Nicole Volk. She's not here today, she's out ill. But she has worked so hard to make this transition from justice to chief justice as easy as possible. And I could not do my job without her assistance and the assistance of my staff, my clerk, and my staff attorney. This job is going to take some adjusting to, and I hope you'll all bear with me as I find my stride. Among those whose help I will need while I am busy with the other justices hearing and deciding cases are State Court Administrator Sally Hollova. She too is out sick today. Kelly Hutton, I'm not sure if she's here. She's our new Deputy Court Administrator. I'm so grateful to you and Sally and all the administrative staff who work tirelessly throughout the state with dedication every day. And I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Petra Mandigo Home, the clerk of the Supreme Court, who organized this event, and has been patient with me as things have changed and things have moved around, but thank you for making this event happen today. Thank you so much. And I also would be remiss if I didn't thank my family. You can see that we had to reserve almost half the courtroom for my family, and they're not even all here. My husband, Jim, has supported me and my dreams, beginning with attending law school. We have an ongoing joke that I am the pilgrim and he is the tourist. But I am grateful that he's always been willing to join me in my adventures. Thank you, Jim. My siblings are all here, and they've also been there for every step and have helped me to overcome so many obstacles. Ellen, Berta, Don, Doug, and Ann, thank you. Special thanks to Ellen and her husband, Jerry, for being there when I needed them the most. I also want to thank our sons, Bill, Mark, Jason, and John. John couldn't be here today, but thank you. And to their spouses for giving us 9 grandchildren who bring us joy to balance out what can be a challenging and stressful life. As I look at my grandchildren here today, I wonder if someday one of them might aspire to be an attorney or judge. The littlest, she's tipped over. She's had a big day already. She has judges on both sides of the family. She came up this morning and visited me here, and we took pictures in Justice Maring's robe of us on the bench here. And she pretended to be a judge sitting at my desk. So hopefully she can stay awake later if she's a judge. But after that, like I said, she's had a big day. She went to see her great-grandpa, Pat Conmey, former federal district judge Pat Conmey. So she has judges on both sides of the family. So maybe we'll get a judge or a lawyer out of this group. And when I think of my grandchildren, I think of Dr. Seuss's book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. That's what comes to mind. I think it is fitting that this ceremony is being held, as it was in 2019, on January 6th. Today is the 12th day of Christmas, the Epiphany, the day the wise men came bearing gifts. The journey of the Magi is a reminder that none of us travels alone, and we all come bearing different gifts that are to be shared. We are called to share these gifts, and mine no doubt will be different than Chief Jensen's. But neither of us is diminished by being different or doing things differently. Some things in the judiciary will remain the same, and some things will change, and we must be open to change. In partnership with my fellow justices and our colleagues throughout the judiciary, I hope to execute a vision for the North Dakota Judicial Branch that builds on and expands upon the vision of Chief Justice Jensen to make the system of justice even better. I endeavor to do this by continually communicating with and supporting collaboration within the judiciary with judges and staff. District judges' challenges and concerns vary across the state, and I am looking forward to collaborating with them on the important work of supporting and improving the administration of justice. I also want to work collaboratively outside the judiciary with the bar, UND School of Law, the other branches of government, county commissions, and municipalities. I look forward to working with my friend Aaron Burst on issues that we have in common with the counties. I also want to work with Deb Hoffarth, Tony Weiler, and the SBAN Board of Governors, as well as local bar associations, to attract more lawyers to North Dakota, to make legal representation more accessible, especially in rural counties. I will continue to foster the court's amiable relationship with the UND School of Law, as it serves as the primary conduit that provides the state with new, well-trained lawyers. As a member of the North Dakota Children's Cabinet, I want to improve access to justice for the youth that we serve in our juvenile courts. I intend to be a chief who listens, is patient, and values ideas of others, even when I might not agree with them. I do realize the historical significance of this moment. While I'm not a big deal, I'm just a Class B kid from Minto, North Dakota. It's obvious from the number of people who have contacted me following the ballot opening that this is a big deal to many people, that we have selected the first woman in North Dakota to serve in this capacity. The support that I have received from across the state and even across the country has been overwhelming. Thank you to all of those who sent me notes, newspaper articles, or whole newspapers. Tom Dixon sent me the whole Walsh County Record. That his mother saved for him and mailed to him, and he mailed to me. That's what Walsh County is like. But to those who sent me notes, emails, and texts, thank you. Those contacts bolster my spirit to take on the new challenges ahead. To those watching back home in Minto, and for those from Minto here, I have two more words. Rocket power. Never before in the 137-year history of the North Dakota Supreme Court, nor in the 28 years before that on the Supreme Court of Dakota Territory, has a woman served as Chief Justice. Before January 1st, North Dakota was one of just 7 states who had not had a woman serve as Chief Justice. I'm glad we're off the list. While I'm humbled to be the first, I certainly hope that I won't be the last. I follow in the footsteps of the women and men that have come before, on this court and elsewhere, too numerous to mention. But I will mention a few who made or widened the path to make room for me. Helen Hamilton, the first woman to graduate from the UND School of Law in 1905. She has been an inspiration to me since before I even applied to law school. From Helen Hamilton's graduation, it took 80 years for Burl Levine to be the first female justice on the North Dakota Supreme Court. Justice Levine was appointed because Governor George Sinner believed in her abilities, and she understood what it meant to be a first. Justices Mary Mullen Mering and Carol Ronning Kapsner followed her and are among the longest serving justices in state history. They were appointed by Governor Ed Schaefer, who found them the most qualified to serve. Former Chief Justice Gerald Van de Wal authorized by administrative order the establishment of the Gender Fairness Implementation Committee with a mission to monitor the progress of the judicial branch toward eradicating gender bias in the courts. Chief Justice Van de Wal and Justices Mering and Kapsner were early promoters of women on the bench. Trailblazers all, and I thank them for leading the way. None of us has the opportunity to lead without the help of others. I also want to thank former Justice Bill Newman. He hired me as a law clerk right out of law school, and in fact, he wrote me a letter of recommendation that probably got me into law school. He encouraged me time and again to put myself out there when there were judicial vacancies, both in the district court and on this court. Birch Burdick has also been mentioned. Some of us here worked for Birch. He also took a chance on me, offering me a job as a prosecutor, knowing full well that my true aspirations weren't to be a prosecutor, but to be a judge. I also want to thank District Judge Cherie Clark, who encouraged me, or more aptly pestered me, until I relented to put my name on the ballot for Chief Justice. Anyone who knows Judge Clark knows she is like a gale force wind, and her superpower is persistence. Until now, I have only been a trail keeper, serving in roles that other women have already done. But I too had governors who believed in me. First, then Governor John Hoeven, and next Governor Jack Dalrymple. Until now, I've just tried to do my job well and keep the path open that others have made for me. Now, with the help of my colleagues, the path has widened a bit more. You see, I want all 9 of my grandchildren, and every child for that matter, regardless of their gender, to believe that they can become anything that they aspire to be. Honestly, being chosen as Chief Justice was beyond my wildest dreams. There is a saying, you can't be it if you can't see it. When I was in high school, there had never been a woman on the United States Supreme Court, on our state district court, or on this court. So I did not see in myself the possibility to become a judge. But in 1981, President Ronald Reagan appointed Sandra Day O'Connor to the United States Supreme Court. And later that year, cartoonist Bill Keane published a family circus cartoon with the little girl Dolly wearing a black robe and holding what looked like a law book in her hand and saying to her brothers, and I quote, "Let's play Supreme Court. You be the old guys and I'll be Sandra Day O'Connor." Finally, Dolly could see herself in that role. Women have been eligible to serve on this court since 1920, when women gained the full right to vote. And it took us until now to have a Chief Justice, from 1920 to 2026. It's a long time. I hope in the future it won't be a novel event. Even now, we have not yet had a female majority on this court, and only 1 of 3 district court judges are women. I hope for more. Don't get me wrong, I never want a woman to be chosen to serve in any position just because she is a woman. But I hope seeing a woman in this position will encourage other qualified women to be willing to serve as a judge or a justice. As you've already heard, Justice Crothers will be stepping away from the court at the end of February. Thank you, Justice Crothers, for your service on this court. You and your 20 years experience will be sorely missed. But I am heartened by the long list of candidates made up of highly qualified women and men who are eager to take his spot. The Judicial Nominating Committee should have a difficult task to narrow the pool for Governor Armstrong, but I'm certain he'll be able to find a qualified candidate. Looking back, women have not always had the support that I've had. I'm grateful. In 1911, there was a case at this court involving 2 women who were vying for county superintendent of public schools. In those days, women had a limited right to vote for issues related to schools. The woman who lost the election contested it on the basis that the women who voted did not register, so their votes should not be counted. The trial court held in favor of the winner, and as the law did not require women to register because the registry law only required men to register. The North Dakota Supreme Court held while women could vote for school officer, it did not make them electors under the law, but placed them in a separate class of citizens, entitled only to vote on certain questions. The court affirmed on this basis and could have stopped there. But the male justices back then could not seem to contain themselves, going on in dicta, and I quote, "Our conclusion is supported by other considerations. The main qualification for holding office in the state is that a person be a qualified elector. If this term is applicable to women, they are entitled to hold the office of state senator, member of the House of Representatives, governor, the lieutenant governor, judges of the Supreme Court, and various other offices," end quote. What would those justices say today? Every one of those offices mentioned but one has been held by a woman, and now one office in addition to that. Women could not have come this far without the help and acceptance of our male colleagues. As I begin my new role, I hope to be judged not on my gender, but on how I do the job. I am humbled and honored to serve as your Chief Justice. So thank you. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for supporting me and the court in general. And on behalf of the Supreme Court, I thank you for taking the time from your busy schedules to come today. You're all invited to a reception being held in the Coteau room immediately following the ceremony. It's just down the very long hallway. Just follow the crowd. And with that being said, court is adjourned.